All right, ladies and gentlemen, this video might be kind of evil. If you don't want to go to hell, click off of this video. Okay, so let's begin this. Essentially, the most important thing, like when it comes to applying the strategies and getting people to want you more, the most important thing is always getting them to come to you first. Like, get them to show you that they like you first. Let them initiate everything first, right? Because yeah, there's nothing wrong with you initiating and pulling away, but you want to start off on the right foot. Okay, let them come to you. Don't push it. If they don't seem like they want you, don't get closer. Don't inch closer like you're the freaking Pink Panther. Let them come to you. Let them show you interest. Let them be the one that smiles at you. Let them initiate contact. Okay, that doesn't mean you're not friendly. That doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying, that you don't say hi if you see them in normal settings. But if you're trying to date them, let them initiate the contact. Let them initiate the dates. Okay. Now, when it comes to like me as a guy, for example, I always tell people that we initiate and then let them do and then let them pursue. In other words, I show you interest, but if you don't reciprocate interest, if you act too cool for school, I'm not gonna continue. Right. So with guys, we have to initiate and then take a step back, feel the temperature. You know, if she shows you that same energy, then continue. If not, then pull away and let her come to you until otherwise. All right. Now, these strategies are kind of dark. Okay. Now, these strategies come from of the past, and then we're going to talk about borrowing from the future. All right. Now, the past is usually not traumas. All right. We don't want to activate traumas in people. We want to regress them to a childlike state of mind, where we felt the happiest, where our experiences felt magical. Okay. And the way you do that is regressing them. Right. And you give them that type of like motherly type of acceptance where where you do not judge them. Don't judge them, accept them, provide emotional support, make them feel accepted, heard, and understood. This has a fatherly and motherly type of effect. For example, let me give you an extreme example. Let's just say you're dating them and they do crack. First of all, don't be dating people who do crack, okay? Anything, to be honest with you. And one of the things that somebody who does crack is that they're gonna feel afraid to tell you because they're afraid that you're gonna judge them, right? Because everyone around them judges them, right? And one of the things that is the most seductive thing about having parents is when we do something wrong, we think they're gonna fucking kill us, but they're only mad at the fact that you didn't tell them, right? The complete acceptance of parents is something that we sort of tend to miss out as we grow older, because people are very judgmental. People don't see past the surface, and because of that, we long and yearn for it, especially people who have flaws, right? So one of the things that you do is that when you meet people, don't judge them. Like, honestly, like, let's just say, even if they're a stripper, for example, right? Honest to God, like, don't judge them. Because for a stripper is an example. If she knows, if she knows that you know that she's a stripper and yet you don't judge her, in her mind, you're unique. Because rarely does she meet people that know what she does and she doesn't feel judged on from them. It is like a therapist type of vibe, like you just feel completely understood, and no matter how much you fuck up, this person you don't feel judged by this person. And honestly, like, I'm not telling you to accept bullshit from people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not telling you to do that, but in general, if they have any flaws and you want to apply this strategy, just don't judge them. Listen to them. Come listen as you're an outside observer, and you're not judging or giving your point of view or say, oh, I don't think you should do that. No, just accept them for who they are, listen to what they're going through, and just be there. And you don't know how often you judge people. You don't know how often you give people the impression that you're judging them with your face and your reactions. And so because of that, when you do this, you're going to notice that there's a huge difference in how they react to you. Because usually we're judging people, and usually people can sense that we're judging them. It's a truly powerful strategy to just pay attention to people without making sure that they don't sense that you're actually judging them. When in reality, you do judge them. That's the point, right? That's the point of the strategy, is that you hide the judgment. If you ever want to apply these strategies with someone that you're dating, you could just work with me one on one or scan the QR code where it says work with me. I could give you guys more specific strategies on how to apply these strategies to your situation, because I understand it sounds kind of abstract. So working with me one on one could give you guys a quicker roadmap on how to conceptualize and apply these strategies into your life. So if you're going through something, you want to make somebody fall in love with you, or you need some support in terms of like how to do this, how to get them to like you, or even you have some life goals and you want some guidance in that, I could definitely work with you guys one on one. So just scan the QR code, or click on the description down below where it says work with me one on one, or else they're gonna leave. Now the next regression is called the Oedipal regression. Okay, it is, you see, usually one of the most conflicting emotions when you have the most desire when you're a child is usually when you feel like you're in competition for your mother's attention, right? Or either from the dad or from your siblings, right? If you pay attention to your childhood, you'll notice that's originally when you maybe felt the first signs of jealousy, when you first felt jealous, right? When you sensed somebody was getting your mother's attention. That was the first source of it. And so anything that replicates that dynamic creates an intense emotional attachment and an intense emotional reaction, which could potentially intensify whatever feelings they have. Why? Because once the bond between mother and child are created, it creates a triangle between dad and mom. A child wants to possess you, but can't because of parents, right? Because of the parents. So what you're doing here is transporting them back to this period. Be loving with a hint of coldness and discipline, right? So the way to apply this is just to make sure that the love that you give them also has a hint of discipline and a hint of like coldness to it, right? Where you're not just super warm, but you're also willing to dish out the harshness, dish out the discipline, right? Now, you gotta remember this, is that children do love discipline. Children are attracted and respect people who discipline them. Why? Because when you don't discipline them, you'll notice a child that kind of resents you. When you are a teacher, the teacher that knows how to discipline their students more are more loved by their students, and students behave better around you because of that, right? But this strategy is not for everyone, right? Because again, the point of this is discipline, letting them know what, like not just being super warm, but having rules, getting them to follow it, right? Even having house rules, the way that they talk to you, the way they behave, like literally having rules. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it sounds crazy, but if you see them that they're not organized, you demand that they're organized, you demand that they're this and that. And the reason why I'm telling you this is that it sounds like you're being pushy, but this only works on a certain kind of person, and that's why I included this, okay? This works when the person is not disciplined, when the person didn't receive much discipline as a child, when the parents were neglectful, when the parents were hippies, when the parents were all out and about, they weren't really disciplining their children, they weren't really teaching their children how to control their impulses, right? And also, this also works when people who had a strong attachment to their parents but was negative, right? So they had an ambivalent type of attachment, right? And this children feel this, where they want to get comfort from their parents, but also they feel this like detachment from their parents, right? So you do this by just applying these strategies where you demand more from them, where they might resent you a little bit, where they might see you as very demanding, or you're asking a lot from them, but secretly they're gonna like it. Secretly they're gonna be attracted to you, especially if you mix in eroticism and sex, right? Right? It'll create a pretty strong bond. And again, you see this because the person you're dating has their life is not in order. It's just that simple. And if you observe that their parents never gave them order, I can promise you might think that demanding them to become more orderly might push them away. What it'll do is that they'll feel like they finally found the parents they were looking for. They'll feel like they finally found someone who could help them, right? But again, you have to pay attention. Are they willing to take criticism? That's very important. If they can't take criticism, the strategy might not work. So that's why you have to really pay attention to the person and not just apply these strategies all willy-nilly. The next one is the impotent child, right? This is the next regression. And now this works if you're dating someone who's older. Like, for example, Samantha Priestley in Sex and the City was dating the super hot guy, right? What the fuck do you mean super hot guy? Sorry. You know what I'm talking about. He was good looking, man. Come on, shut the fuck up. All right. Or you're the girl and you're dating the older guy. This regression is pretty much where you play the impotent child, the child that's wild, the child that needs to be controlled, the child that misbehaves, but also the child that has, and I know that sounds freaking creepy, people, I did not make people, but it has sexual charge to it because, you want to bang them, right? they're an adult, right? But they're acting like a child. So it's almost like a mental fantasy superimposed on a physical one, right? And it's creepy, but, let's not, kink shame, because if we're going to be kink shaming, I want to see your kinks and write them down so I can shame your ass. Because anything that you like that's sexual related has some creepy fucking background to it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the impotent child. Assume the role of the child, but with sexuality. And an example of that was Marilyn Monroe. She did that with the men, where she hyper sexualized herself by and being a child. Ariana Grande does this, right? And even what's his name? Pete Davidson with Kim Kardashian. He was the impotent child. He played the role of the child, but that's sexually charged. And this works when people are older. It works a lot, right? Now we could talk about the next strategy, which is borrowing from the future. Okay, borrowing from the future is we're using future projections. So this is pretty much this one is about planning vacations. Right? When you start planning things with the person and doing things and make sure that the place that you're going to, you're more comfortable than they are. And we're talking about how to make them want you more. Okay? So this makes them want you more. Right? And the reason why is because, one, the planning of the vacation is very important. The planning of it. The process of planning it, of coming up of different destination to go to, get them to plan it, get them to look for more details. That act gets them to fantasize and think of you more, and it makes them long that vacation with you, right? So it's important that you make sure that they plan it. Not plan it, but make sure that you pick the destination and make sure that they're involved in the planning process. Right. And the reason why is because you want to isolate them from their friends and family. Right. And not to be evil, you know what I'm saying? But their friends and family always brings them back some rationality. Right. It is them who tells them that you're not good for them. Why? Because the process of falling in love is not rational. Right. If we were really being honest, most of the time we wouldn't fall in love. But your friends and family have a rational ear. They see things that you don't see. Right? They see me, for example, from a different point of view. And so because of that, they're the ones that are immune to your charm, right? They bring back a voice of reason, right? So the more they're away from them, the more in love they'll get with you. It's just that simple, right? Now we're not talking about freaking going cartel mode on them and isolating them. No, we just hey bitch, wanna go on vacation? Okay, I'll go on vacation. You go on vacation with her, She's like, hey, my mom is calling me. Hey, tell mom we're gonna talk later. We're on vacation right now, okay? Like, but she says she's dying. Put the phone down, okay? Put the phone down, goddammit. I don't give a fuck if Granny. My granny's fell from the stairs. Well, tell Granny to wait. All right. And so they're just being somewhere different, alone, different environment, different people, different food, getting them to try new foods, getting them to try new places. As the more different it is, Jesus Christ, it's like taking a Chinese person to Africa. Like, make that shit, the contrast, even more different, so that then they can lean on you for comfort. The more different, the more isolated, the more exotic it is, the more they'll lean on you, right? And that will create and increase the attraction, right? I mean, it is evil technically, but I mean, this is pretty much what happens when couples go on vacation. This is pretty much what happens when couples start having kids, and now they're so busy they can't talk to their family members as much, right? It's a natural process of divorcing yourself from your family to be with the person that you're with. It's natural, right? I'm just making it seem more evil than it really is. Now, the next one is the uncertain future, all right? You're dating them, you're going out with them, and usually the thought of the future, you think of them and you think of it as a consistent future, right? When you think of them, you think of being with them, and it sounds like a consistent future, right? They're there, and so it brings comfort. But one of the things that I noticed is that I was once dating a girl, and she said how she was gonna go to medical school, and she was gonna go to medical school to the Bahamas, and we were dating. I was like, "Bitch, I'm not in the Bahamas. I can't go there, right?" And so every time she brought that up, it made me sad, and it kind of like it just made me want her more. Like, and it kind of makes sense, right? Now this is the evil part, right? You don't do it as people, but if you're going on vacation, right, for example, or whatever, make sure to emphasize that you're leaving, right? Make sure to emphasize that you're leaving. Like, remind them of that shit, because people forget, right? If let's just say you're somewhere for 2 years, right? Yeah, people will literally date you and forget that you're gonna leave in 2 years until the time comes. Remind them every fucking week. In 2 years from now I'm leaving. Next month, of 2 years from now I'm leaving. Like, I know it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but talking about the future where they're not there creates a sense of desperation, a sense of wanting to grasp onto you more, a sense of desire more. So just make sure to remind people that if you're there temporarily, make sure to remind people that you're gonna leave one day, right? Like, literally. It'll make them grab onto you a little bit more, and where it's like what death does to you, right? Whenever you encounter death, before you die, your senses become more intensified. Why? But it's almost like your senses know it's the last time it's gonna feel this world, so it grasps onto whatever it's there a little bit more. So it processes information with more intensity and with more higher definition. Like the information is crisper before dying. This is type of kind of like that, like a metaphor of death, right? Where they know you're not gonna be there one day, so because of that, they sort of, when they look at you, they look at you with more intensity. When they think of you, they think of you with more intensity. So this strategy works really well. And the last one, just creating tension. Like, all you people out there, a bunch of nice people, like y'all, like I said yesterday in my video, your niceness draws people in, but it loses its effect once they're there, right? Like, niceness draws people. Niceness allows people to forget the bullshit, the negative moments. But it is the negative moments that creates tension. It is the negative moments that creates the electricity. There needs to be tension, right? And it is created by creating a sense of anxiety and suspense. So how do you do that? Conflict. Like, life is conflict. An example of that: we need to talk. The fuck you mean? We need to talk. Let's talk tomorrow. Now, from today to tomorrow, there's some tension. This happens all the time. Like, if you're in a relationship with someone, you're gonna need to talk to them, and you're not gonna want to do it over text, and you want to have this face-to-face conversation. In that moment, there's tension, right? Something bad is happening. You don't like the way things are working. You sit down with them and you talk about it. Tension. In other words, conflict resolution, people. Like, if you know how to do conflict resolution and communicate directly, that's enough tension to make them want you more. Because the tension, it could potentially mean that they could lose you, right? And so this is why tension is something that you don't have to do anything bad or manipulative. All you gotta do is exist, have standards, and be willing to call out and be willing to have uncomfortable conversations. And that tension will make them want you more. It always works. Like, it's because this is how you grow together, right? You guys find something negative, you work on it, but you're also willing to take criticism. And so if they're willing to work on it and listen to you, and you're willing to do the same, you guys grow together. The more conflict you guys go through, the more emotional connections you build. It's almost like an army that goes through war together, right? The more battles they win, the more cohesion, the greater the group myth, the greater the soldier morale, and the more they'll be willing to fight for each other. But also, neurologically, is that each time you guys get through conflict, there's more oxytocin, and it creates more of an emotional connection when you reconciliate from the conflict. It's really important, people. Like, it's honestly the most important part. Honestly, if you don't know how to have conflict resolution, you are a walking red flag, and you're a walking red flag. All right. Anyways,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mindful Attraction University, taught by Professor Alex, where I teach you all of the strategies to improve your dating life and all of the courses that I have all in one place. And you can get it at a highly discounted rate. So that means you can purchase all of my basic courses without the bundles, usually at $600. You can purchase it now at $399, people, not $400. $399 for psychological purposes. Yeah, that's right. Oh my fucking god, he's showing us a scam. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Father Alex does that. So that means you could get emotional mastery, the psychological game of attraction, the feminine woman, natural chemistry, charisma blueprint, and nice girl at a discounted rate. But then, if you want to get the master's degree of the Mindful Attraction University, taught by Professor Alex, you could get the premium version, where usually all of the courses cost $1,200. Now you can purchase them all at $799 or 4 payments of $200. You guys can now also do like a payment plan. Feminine woman, emotional mastery, the whole shebang with all of the bonuses at one lower price, people. And with that, honestly, this is the type of thing that I know that if you guys get, it'll fix your dating life in ways you guys cannot imagine. Now, my worry is that it is a lot of content. Like it is, and I'm not a fan of giving people a lot of content because I don't want informational junkies. But this is the best way to get it all at all in one price. Now, look, mind you, if you purchase the bundle, I'm just gonna be honest, there's no refunds. Purchasing the whole bundles. If you guys think you guys are not gonna like it, I will prefer if you guys buy one course to see if you like it, and if you don't like that course, you could get your money back and don't purchase the bundle. Right? But if you like that course, you guys can send me an email and say, hey, can I upgrade to the bundle? Pay the difference, and there you guys will get it. But it's just that, look, man, you guys know my content. If you like one course, you like it all, right? So that's the only caveat. But I know damn well, if you purchase it, your dating life will never be the same. Okay? Now, for those who purchase the courses but want to add to the bundle, you guys can message me and maybe we could come up with a price so that you guys can get it while being able to not have to pay all the crazy prices. Okay, so just click on the description down below. There you'll see the ability to purchase the wifey basic package, which is the one that you see here for $399 without the bundles and without the bonuses. But if you guys want to purchase it with the bonuses, which is a lot of content, and I'm afraid because it's a lot of content, you guys can purchase it right here with either 4 payments of $200 or one-time payment of $799, right? And yeah, and by the way, I made this design, Father Alex is being inclusive here and stuff like that. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoy this. Hopefully you guys can support the channel by purchasing those courses, and I'll see you guys inside. Bye-bye.